Welcome for windy tutorial. Today, front translation. Woo. A trick that has been shown to me by Mika, great friend of mine, great contact staff spinner, dragon staff spinner. He has an amazing Patreon. Check him out, Mika Hell. And here we go for the front translation. First, a little bit of theory. If you follow my channel, Flowbonacci, my tutorials, you're probably familiar with the translation concept. Translation is this, but it's also this. Basically, translation is a moment in a flow session, in a sequence where my dragon staff will move in space while keeping its direction. The name translation is directly coming from mathematics, where when a vector is moving in space while keeping its direction, I mean like this, it's a translation. It's a translation. So this is a translation, this is a translation, this is not a translation because the direction is changing. If your dragon staff is changing the direction in which it is pointing at, it's not a translation. This is a translation, this is a translation, this is a translation, this is not a translation, neither than this. Same direction, translation, changing direction, other movement. That being said, let's move on. In the tutorials I already made, I am offering a translation often on the lateral side, here, and today it's going to be on the front side. Basically, during the translation, my dragon staff will move in front of me, but keeping its direction. Basically, translating from here to here. And it goes like this. Very satisfying move. Calm, not really technique, just once you will get the mechanic in your mind and in your body, easy. Ooh. Let's start with without rolling understanding. Dragon staff pointing in front of me, not on my right, not on my left, not on the top, not on the bottom, in front of me, quite parallel to the ground. My left and back of the hand will be placed under my dragon staff in front of me, off center, and the second will be on my forearm, arm folded, forearm, like this. This is the stance I'm gonna start with. And I will go pendulum change. Pendulum translation change. You've seen it wants to rolls by itself. Pendulum translation change stance. Pendulum translation change. And once you're comfortable with this mechanic, let's make it roll. And as you might have felt already while you're doing the move without rolling, this sequence, the front translation, is so organic that it rolls by itself. When I say it's organic, it means that the moves are really inviting the dragon to roll, and the rolling of the dragon really stabilize the sequence. Just let's talk for 2 minutes of the gyroscopic effect. Gyroscopic effect is the physical effect you are feeling when you're riding a bike and you ride, and then you can free your hand from the driving bar, handlebar. And you might have felt that it's not possible, or is less possible and less easy when you're not moving forward with your bike. So in a way, your bike is more stabilized when you are moving forward and that your wheels are turning. And this is because of the wheel turning that your bike is stabilized when you're rolling forward. And it is exactly the same with a dragon staff, because a dragon staff is just a long axis gyroscope from my point of view. I began with Diabolo when I was 15, long time ago, and I feel many similarities between a dragon staff and a Diabolo, because they are more or less still rolling in the same direction, and the fact that a Diabolo is clearly a gyroscope speeding in rotation is a clear stabilizer. And with the dragon staff it is less evident, because the rolling speed is not the same and the weight repartition is not the same. But when a dragon staff is rolling, physically there is a gyroscopic effect going on, and the gyroscopic effect will stabilize your dragon staff if it's rolling, which means keeping a dragon staff balance or horizontal if it's not rolling, or if it's rolling it's different. It's going to be more easy to keep your dragon staff stabilized horizontal if it is rolling. This is why I strongly advise, for the beauty of dragon staff, to keep it rolling. And that's it for this philosophical, physical, mathematical thing. Let's get back to the front translation sequence. Thanks for your attention, by the way. Starting position, this one. It's not on my upper arm, it is really standing on my forearm. If the dragon staff is located on my right side, it's gonna roll kind of away from me. So let's start like this. Slow rolling, roll away, triggering my pendulum. After my pendulum, my dragon staff is on the back of my left hand, dragon staff in front of me, off center, and I'm gonna raise my dragon, and it's gonna roll on my forearm, and while it's rolling, before it reaches my elbow and fall on the ground, I will place my right hand in front of me to stabilize. And do it again. Rolling, pendulum, raising. There's not really much happening here. It's a very simple sequence. The real challenge here is when I'm doing my pendulum, like this, landing on my forearm, rising, and here I want my dragon staff to stay horizontal while it's rolling from my wrist, let's say, to my elbow on this horizontal line. While my dragon staff, after my pendulum, is rolling from my wrist, my hand, the back of my hand, side of my hand exactly, to my elbow. For this moment, I want my dragon staff to be horizontal and pointing at the same direction. And here, it's a question of balance, kind of pendulum work, as we've seen in the previous tutorials. And it will come with training. But for the moment, let's enjoy a slow motion. And here comes the question how to trigger a front translation. Let's say we are starting with a classic chi roll, like this one. And I will rotate my upper body to have my dragon staff pointing in front of me. If I stay here, my dragon staff is pointing on my side. I will just rotate my upper body to have my chi roll happening here. And once I want, you can see that the chi roll is kind of preparing myself to this front translation starting position. It is so organic. Yeah. Rotating my upper body, waiting. Here, it's the perfect timing, and I will wait that my dragon staff is reaching the back of my left hand, and I will just trigger a pendulum and enter in my front translation sequence. And it goes like this. Ooh. And I'm in. And how to get out. Stabilizing my chi roll. rotating my upper body and coming back. Easy. Ooh. And what I really like with this front translation sequence is this moment really visible, graphically interesting, that for a moment my dragon staff very visibly will be translating from this point to this point. And I am personally searching in the way I am practicing this front translation to kind of exaggerate this moment, and instead of having it minimized, I will try to amplify the size of the translation by going really on my right to on my left. Here. The first way to do it is to rotate my upper body and to lean a little bit to go and search a position here. And the second is to maximize the rolling time. I will try to maximize the duration of the translation, to maximize the time my dragon staff is in the air, rolling horizontally from my wrist or the back of my hand to my elbow, and really go as close to my elbow as possible, like this, and waiting. Was not the best one. Let's do it again. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, yeah. Yes. And this is a game of balance and gyroscopic effect. I can assure you that if your dragon staff is not rolling, it will not physically, by the laws of gravity and physics, it will stay longer floating in the air. This is why a dragon rolling is more floating. And you can even go to waiting that your dragon staff is passing your elbow and drop. This is an effect that I like, and I'm researching when I'm doing this front translation sequence, is trying to go there. Yeah. Yeah. Hop. See what I mean? This moment when I am standing here waiting that my dragon staff is traveling here, 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 and it will drop, and then I will go with my non-native end. Because let's be precise, it's a front translation, but how many translations there are? 2, 4, 8 maybe. Let me know in the comment what you think, because the dragon staff can roll away or toward, or it can be here non-native, but it might be possible to do a native one. How many parameters are there here? It's just a game between you and me. How many front translation do you think can exist? Let me know. This kind of thinking is a brain move that I really use nowadays, and thanks to Jed and Brett, who really taught me how to think dragon stuff, is that when I am having a move, a new one or something that I think it's new, at least that is new to me, I say, okay, what is happening there? and I'm trying to break it down in parameters. Can I cross my arms? Can I do a native or non-native? Can it roll away or toward? Can it flip backward and forward? This is, from my point of view and many people's point of view, and I'm referring here to my two great masters who are Jed and Brett, it is the best way to find variations and to understand what is happening. A sequence, a move, is not only a block, it is composed of little elements. And if you can identify those elements, you can play with them, change them, adjust them, replace them, and find other moves and let the dragon staff tree expand its branches and make the happy dragon very happy. For those who've seen the video about Jed. And that's it for this front translation tutorial. I really hope that you will take pleasure to practice this move, to explore potential variations you might find by yourself, and keep spinning. Thanks for your support here on Patreon, on YouTube, on Instagram. Thank you very much. Have fun. Keep on smiling. Catch you later. Ciao, folks.